18 months after the first explosive report by the US-based short seller Hindenburg, the group is back, this time training its guns on the SEBI chairperson Madhabi Puri Buch. On Saturday, Hindenburg alleged that Madhabi Buch and her husband Dhaval Buch had stake in certain offshore entities which were also used by the Adani group as well. The Buches issued a response to Adani group on Sunday. The first allegation says that Madhabi Puri Buch and her husband held stakes in Bermuda and Mauritius funds, which were also held and used by Vinod Adani, who is Gautam Adani's brother. The funds were a part of a complex nested structure. First, IIFL, which is a broking firm, established Global Opportunities Fund, which is an offshore fund based in Bermuda. Now, Bermuda is a tax haven used by investors. Under this GOF, a sub-fund was created which is known as the Global Dynamic Opportunities Fund, which is also known as GDOF. This was also registered in Bermuda. Now, here's where it gets a little bit more complex. Hindenburg Research claimed that a company controlled by Gautam Adani's brother, Vinod Adani, invested in this GDOF. GDOF then invested the funds in a sub-fund which is known as the IPE Plus Fund. This is a small offshore fund which is registered in Mauritius, which is another tax haven for investors. According to Hindenburg, this IPE Plus Fund invested money into the domestic equity markets and Indian stocks. The CIO of this fund is Anil Ahuja, who previously held directorship positions in Adani Group companies such as Adani Enterprises. So, where does the SEBI chief's involvement come in? According to some of the whistleblower documents, which was accessed by the Hindenburg Research firm, the IPE Plus Fund saw Madhabi Puri Buch and her husband Dhaval Buch open accounts on June 5, 2015 in Singapore. Ahead of Madhabi Puri Buch's appointment to SEBI as a whole-time member, her husband Dhaval Buch wrote to the fund administrator. He requested to transfer the accounts to his name and that he be the sole person authorized to operate these accounts. According to Hindenburg, this was so that the couple could move the assets out of her names ahead of her appointment to SEBI. Hindenburg's report further alleged that on February 25, 2018, while Buch held the position of a whole-time member at SEBI, she emailed IIFL through her private Gmail account to redeem the units in this fund. Madhabi Puri Buch and her husband issued a statement saying that the investment to the fund referred to was in 2015, way before her appointment to SEBI. They also mentioned at this time they were residents in Singapore, not India. One of the reasons they cited for investing in this fund was that it was run by Anil Ahuja, who was Dhaval Buch's childhood friend. They also cited his experience at Citigroup as well as JP Morgan as some of the reasons they decided to invest, since Anil Ahuja was the CIO of this fund at the time. The second allegation towards the SEBI chairperson referred to Madhabi Puri Buch's consulting firms that she opened prior to her appointment to the Securities Board. Madhabi Buch fully owned an offshore Singaporean consulting firms known as Agora Partners. On March 16th of 2022, 2 weeks after her appointment to the SEBI chairperson, she transferred the shares in the Singaporean entity to her husband Dhaval. She also owned a 99% stake in an Indian consulting firm called Agora Advisory. The director of this firm is her husband Dhaval Buch. While the Singaporean entity is completely exempt from disclosing any of its financial statements according to Hindenburg Research, in FY22, the Mumbai-based consulting firm generated a revenue of almost 2 crore from consulting. This was 4.4 times Madhabi Buch's previously disclosed salary as a whole-time member of SEBI. In the Buch's statement, they clarified that the consulting company set up by Madhabi was completely dormant after her appointment to SEBI. These companies and her shareholding was also a part of her disclosures to SEBI when she joined. While Madhabi Buch was an official at SEBI, her husband was appointed as a senior advisor in Blackstone, which also happens to be a major player and investor in real estate investment trusts, also known as REITs. Hindenburg alleges that since Madhabi became chairperson in 2022, SEBI has initiated and approved significant regulatory changes which end up favoring REITs, to the point where the chairperson has mentioned that REITs are one of her favorite investment methods. According to Hindenburg, the timing and nature of these changes, combined with Blackstone's interests, have led to suspicions of a conflict of interest. So what was the response from the SEBI chair to this? She clarified that Dhaval Buch's appointment as senior advisor to Blackstone in 2019 was due to his extensive experience in supply chain management. Importantly, he has no involvement and no role in Blackstone's real estate sector, and his appointment predated Madhabi Buch's appointment as SEBI chairperson. On Dhaval Buch's appointment to the Blackstone Group, the group was immediately added to Madhabi Puri Buch's recusal list, which is maintained by SEBI. The SEBI has also clarified that all relevant disclosures which are required in terms of holdings of securities and their transfers have been adequately given and made by the chairperson. SEBI has also clarified that all relevant disclosures regarding the holding of securities have been made by the chairperson from time to time. From here on, the conversation gains political color, so let's wait and watch to see what happens next.